Ben,
Oh,
you got out.
yeah. Oh, well, luckily my maintenance man watches all nighters, so we just hung out, did some gerrymandering.
I, wait, you can't just do gerrymandering. What do you think gerrymandering is?
Oh, well, hanging with Jerry and my man, my maintenance man, Jerry man, gerrymandering.
Ben, that's not. You know what? Here to tell us more about gerrymandering and electoral representation is Princeton student Kyle Barnes. Come on down. Are you joining us, Kyle? Are you there?
Ooh.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi. Wi-Fi is a little rough today, but hopefully it'll stick with us.
You and me both. So you are executive director of Representable. Can you tell us about it? Who are you representing?
Yeah, sure. So Representable started a class project in 333, Code 33 in the spring of 2019. And it's basically a website where people can draw community maps. It's based on this legal definition of a term called community of interest, which can be used in redistricting in some states. So you will be seeing us in court at some point in the coming years. But we work with organizations in states like Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia, et cetera, to empower community groups that traditionally would be at the mercy of a few politicians corrupt behind closed doors, drawing district lines that only they get elected.
Wow, you must have had a busy election season.
Absolutely, yeah.
Can you tell us how gerrymandering is going to play a role in the Georgia runoffs?
Yeah, totally. So it won't play a role directly in the Georgia runoffs themselves, since the Senate districts are, of course, the entire state. But I think what the runoffs really matter for is kind of where we'll draw our attention to. So in Georgia, everyone's eyes are on Georgia right now. And what you see in Georgia is historically a lot of disenfranchisement. Gerrymandering is one huge piece of that, and it's a huge battle to be. But the tide is turning, as we saw with the presidential election, which means that this is a really great time to put public pressure on legislative officials, on these Senate candidates, particularly in new swing districts where they're going to be paying a lot of attention. Places like Baldwin County, Jefferson County, maybe Gwinnett County. These are all places where your voice really matters. So I would say if there's any Georgians on this call, please vote. This is probably like the most important election you will vote for in at least the next 10 years. Maybe it shouldn't be this way, but it is. So please vote.
So along those lines, we want to get your professional opinion about something, which is, in your opinion, which is slimier, gerrymandering or salamanders?
It's a great question, because gerrymandering was actually named after salamanders. I would say I was kind of scared.
Is it?
It was a combination
Wow.
of a salamander district and a dude named Jerry, and they just put it together and said, "We got gerrymandering."
No.
Wow.
Kyle, you're pulling our leg. Our mutual combined leg. Whoa.
So they're
So which
equally
one's
slimy, I
Yeah.
guess. Born of the same slime.
Cousins, really. Is there a way for people to get involved with the Representable interested Princeton students?
Yeah, definitely. I would encourage them to reach out. Our email is team@representable.org, and really see if you can get involved. What's really special about gerrymandering is it often can have a lot of power in it, especially on a local level. There's a lot of attention, the federal election and all of this stuff, but there's a lot of chances to really pressure your elected officials on the local level. And find organizations in your state that are fighting gerrymandering, places like the League of Women Voters or Common Cause or Fair Districts organizations. Like pretty much every state has some. So I would recommend anyone interested in fighting against gerrymandering to reach out and see what they can do.
Nice. So how do you get people psyched about gerrymandering?
You like look at your mirror in the morning, you think gerrymandering. What do you say? What do you say to
For
yourself?
a morning affirmation, I will not gerrymander. I will not gerrymander.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so hard because it's a very pervasive issue. And I like to really like try and people through this cycle of you have this thought where you're like, okay, why aren't my politicians actually like helping people? That's what they're supposed to do. And you're like, oh, it's because there's nobody elected to like actually, represent this group or their interests. So then you're like, okay, they should just like elect someone, right? Like easy, just vote, go vote, you know? But then you look at the lines and you realize that there's all these communities just or being like put together in one district so they just don't have a voice. So it's this like fundamental thing that's like pervasive to our democracy. So what I tell you, no matter what issue you care about, gerrymandering affects that, because if you don't fix gerrymandering, then you won't have a voice to push for the things that you want. Things like environmental reforms or criminal justice won't happen if we don't fight gerrymandering too.
Be there any person on the call who doesn't know what gerrymandering is? Can you give like the dictionary definition of it?
Probably to this
Yeah.
point, gerrymandering sounds like a creature or
Yeah.
Totally is. Gerrymandering is when politicians draw the lines of voting districts to protect their political interests. So usually it'll be like incumbents, drawing a really squirrely looking salamander looking district. So that way they will stay elected next time around.
Wow. Okay. Does anyone get to gerrymander? Like, does that mean that districts change every single time a new representative is in office? Like, does it flip flop a lot?
They are drawn every 10 years. So 2021 is the year for redistricting. It's, the first time in 10 years. In 2011, I was like 12 years old. I didn't know what like a presidential election was. But this is such an important year. So it is the time to get involved with redistricting.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to a game. And this game is we're gonna show you two things. One is a real gerrymandered district and one is something else. And you have to try to guess which one is the actual gerrymandered district.
Right.
Okay, gerrymandering or some other, okay. Which one is the gerrymandered district?
It's got to be the one on the left. I think I recognize that one.
You know,
Really?
you know its name?
I don't know its name. I don't remember, but I believe that one might have been in North Carolina, either that or Ohio.
It
And the one
is.
is Lake Michigan.
Okay, so you got that it's a real gerrymandered district. It is in Pennsylvania, and the one on the right is the country of Norway.
Oh my God.
Okay, next one.
Oh, I would recognize that oven mitt anywhere. That's
I
Michigan.
know.
Gerrymandered district on the right.
Yeah, the other one is the top half of Michigan. And the one on the right is a district in Maryland. Next one.
We got a toughie. You have a tough choice ahead of you.
This is so tough. I'm going to go with the one on the right.
Wow, 3 for 3. Okay, the one on the right is a district also in Pennsylvania. And the one on the left is an island off of Alaska.
Good to know.
There you go. Well, thank you so much, Kyle. This was so great to learn about some gerrymandering and to clear up that it's not just hanging out with a guy named Jerry, though the name somewhat came from that.
Man, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.